So many issues in the modern world rely on a science and technology foundation. The studies that I read make me woefully discouraged about the level of scientific understanding that the public has.
That means not only do they not know, they're not willing to support legislation that advances science. They're not willing to insist on better science education in the schools because they don't think it matters.
As scientists, we have now a great opportunity with this new digital media to communicate our discoveries to the general population. USC is a very, very special case. At this university, we have the very best School of Cinematic Arts in the world. Therefore, having the creative science studio in our School of Cinematic Arts, you're going to get the very best students and the very best faculty working in this project for the many years to come.
We hope through this initiative to tap into the deep talent base of the School of Cinematic Arts, as well as the extensive resources of the National Science Foundation, to create original and compelling educational content. We aim to help the public understand complex and difficult concepts and the importance of scientific research using the power of narrative media as well as new technologies.
Cinema, television, video games for that matter, are in many ways our vernacular. They're the language that the average person speaks. So if we use that language to help convey information about science, I think we're a lot more likely to get people's attention. If you look at examples, for one, the explanation of DNA in Jurassic Park.
A DNA strand like me is a blueprint for building a living thing.
I had a major geneticist say to me after the movie came out, well, it's the best explanation I ever heard. And to go on and say he had actually been able, because of that, to have discussions with people about DNA who were not scientists at all, and who prior to that thought it was something fearful.
If you look at 2001 and Contact, the inspiration that young people got from these movies brought a number of young people into my area of science that I think would never have come in otherwise. In each case, there was a scientist working together with a filmmaker that made it happen.
I think that people in cinema and people in science have a lot that they can teach each other about the use of visual imagery.
We would be in a very good position to help scientists begin to look at what that is they want to convey and work with them to find the best tools to convey that information to the general public.
The visual is very, very strong, not only as a teaching mechanism, but also in terms of discovery.
We would rely on a world-class expert to combine with our expertise in storytelling, visualization, interactive experience.
One of the interesting things about interactive media and games is it allows us to make models of scientific theories and ideas that we can interact with, we can sort of push on and play with in tangible ways.
When I teach fluid mechanics, a set of movies about the flow of fluids is a very powerful tool. The movies I use were made in the 1950s, believe it or not, but there's nothing better today. Despite the march of technology, if in the future a program such as this one could generate a whole new set of films or interactive media about the flow of fluids, that would have a tremendous influence on physics and engineering education.
With this project, we can take the opportunity to communicate to the students the scientific discoveries and hopefully excite them to get into this area and pursue a career in the sciences.
I think everybody in the world is looking for this kind of combination of how do you make a representation of scientific information first very rigorous and accurate, and yet at the same time visually compelling with great, sensory images so that it's moving. And I think that's an important aspect of it too.
If we can begin to get people to grasp things about science as their own, then they'll care.